Hello, this is Roshni Venugopal. You are 14 CS121 and this is my lab experiment number 7 for System Software and Compiler lab. In this lab, we'll be doing predictive parser. This is the program, and in the program, first I'd like to show the output for this. To the number of terminals. So in the question, we can see that there are 6 number of terminals and non-terminals are 5, and instead of E dash I'll be giving A and T dash I'll be given B, and instead of ID I'll be giving small a. So let us see. Enter number of terminals is 6, 5. It starts with the E, and the terminals are these: open, close, and also $. The non-terminals, so these are the non-terminals, so E, A, D, E, F. Enter the transition table. So capital E is equal to TA followed by null. E gives TA, null. The second row will be entered now. The third row. The third row will be entered, FP. FP, null. Now the fourth row, B gives star FP, again null. B gives @, B gives @. The final row will be entered. F gives small a, null, null. F gives now we have, this is the parser, the table that has been created. Now we have to give the input. So our input in the question is ID plus ID into ID, followed by we have to give $ and hash. Hash is like a pointer that will tell us that the input has been completed. So this is my output. As required, that E is on the top of the stack, and then it will be expanded, that is E gives TA. Now TA will be pushed into the stack, and for that it will be compared in the table, and it will give the output T gives FP. So likewise it will be done until the stack $A will be there. That will give us that it has the equation, the input has been successfully taken. So let us see how it works. Now first of all, I have given one array stack class. So in that class, the constructor, it will directly form an array of size 20, and here the array, it will be each of a character array and of size 20. Now the top has been given as a variable with a value of -1. It will be acting as a pointer. Now I have given 3 functions: push, pop, and display. In the push function, the top plus 1, that is the pointer plus 1 is greater than or equal to the size of the array, then it will show through an exception of index out of bounds. If not, if it is less than the size, then it means it can take more input, and therefore the array, the pointer will be increased by 1, and then the input will be taken from the user. Now for pop, the pointer will be decremented by 1, therefore the value on the top, it will be returned. and for displaying I have given a for loop, and the elements in the array will be displayed. Now in the program we have, first we will be taking input from the user, that is the number of terminals, and it will be stored in alpha set. So BR, that is buffer reader, is taken is used to take input from the user, and it will be converted into integer and saved in alpha set. Next is we are taking the number of non-terminals and storing its state set. The next is entering the starting non-terminal set. So over here we see that in the equation we are taking capital E as the starting non-terminal, and then followed by the enter all the terminals simultaneously. So we entered all the terminals simultaneously. Next is we are storing it in alphabets, and therefore using a for loop. Alphabets is a array, so we store all the terminals into it, and over here we have just displayed it. And next is enter all the non-terminals simultaneously. So I have taken the non-terminals and saved it in alpha s, and I have converted into an array list by doing alpha dot add alphas of I. So after saving it in alphas, using this we will be converting into an array list. And similarly over here alphabets, whatever we had taken, it will be converted into an array list that is named as alphabet. So next we'll be taking input from the user for the transition table, and it will be read and it will be saved in the transition two-dimensional array. And over here we are just displaying the transition table. Now next is here is where the logic we have written for the do while loop. So do while loop, so that the person can give multiple inputs and check if it will be accepted by the parser. So first of all what we are doing is we are pushing dollar into the stack. So here we can see that dollar is always on the top of the stack, and therefore it will be pushed into the stack. After that we will be pushing the state 0. State 0 is that the state E that we have taken as the starting state, so that will be pushed into the stack. So dollar in E will be there by default. Now we have initialized index as 0, so that we can check in the further in the program when it reaches hash, that then it has to stop the while loop, do while loop. So over here we can see that stk I have created an array stack object stk. So after creating the object I have called the display function, so that in the output we can see that this has been displayed e dollar. So that is the display function. And then now what we are doing is we are going to after displaying, we are in char 3 we are putting the char at 0. So over here index value is 0, and then char 1 is equal to input dot caret index, and then similarly index 1 it will we'll put the alphabet index of. So in alphabet as we saw here we'll be having the terminals, and in alphas will be having the non-terminals. So here that is what we are doing. We are popping the stack content if it contains the similar if it matches, if it will be popped, and then alpha dot index of char. Okay, now over here it will check if it in any of the transition table, if it is when we are checking if it is equal to null. For example over here e plus, if it is null then it will show that the given string is not accepted. But then to check if it is some production has been given, then it will go and check the transition table and split according to the arrow. So after splitting it, then it will be stored in C array. So C of 1, that is this will be stored into D array. Now in the D array also it will check if it is equal to @ or epsilon, in this case epsilon. So if it is equal to epsilon, then directly it will be pushed into the stack, and then if it is if it is equal to epsilon, then it won't be pushed into the stack. But then if it is not equal to epsilon, for example over here t e dash plus t e dash etc., it will be pushed into the stack for further analysis. For example over here e gives t e dash, so t e dash has been pushed into the stack. Now it will pop character ch is equal to stk pop. So we are calling the pop function here, and then so that the top level, the top thing will be popped, and instead of that the both will be pushed into the stack. Now if ch is equal to char 3, so over here we saw that in char 3 we are storing the caret index, so whatever was there in 0. So if it is equal to ch, then the index will be increased. Else if it is equal to $, then that character will be pushed into the stack. Else else also it will be pushed into the stack. Now if character index -1, that is in this case -1, if it is equal to $, then we know that the parsing has been completed successfully, because until and unless we reach the $, after the parsing, if it reaches $, then we know that the parsing has been completed successfully. And then this do while loop continues, and then it will ask the user for another input, and again it will check for the until it reaches the hash symbol. So this is my lab experiment number 7. Thank you.